I mentioned innovation. And innovation is something that really is the fabric of Interop and something that's, again, very near and dear to us. In these difficult times, innovation is something that we really have to sort of think about and work with. I think the IT business is going to be the one thing or one of the things that's going to help move the economy again. I think here in India, you're not feeling it so much, but certainly in the rest of the world, in the US, things have slowed down. But we know that IT is something that's going to really help re-energize and generate new businesses in the world. IDC just last week, very interestingly, talked about IT over the next 4 years being responsible for 5.8 million jobs and 75,000 new companies. So we are working in a really fabulous business. And lastly, I wanted to make a mention, of course, about bringing Interop to India. So when you think about innovation, you think about India, especially in the IT space. And I think the story obviously has been much more about outsourcing, at least again from an outsider's point of view. What's been really great for me is to learn about how successful the IT business, the business technology business around how people use technology in India has been thriving and growing. And that's really was the impetus behind wanting us to bring Interop to this country. We really felt like there wasn't one event that really brought together the IT community in a way that it really deserves, where, again, you could collaborate, hear from great speakers like Wim today, and learn from great speakers and panels, as you will, throughout this week. So again, I'm really pleased that you're here. Thank you very much. I also wanted to thank all the associations and the vendor sponsors, and really give a big thank you especially to the UBM team here in India. You did a great job, and I'm really looking forward to this week. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Heyman. It was very insightful to note that IT can provide so many opportunities. I now take the pleasure in inviting Mr. Sandeep Nair, Chairman, Western Region, MAIT, and Managing Director, MSN Network Power, to say a few words.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It gives us tremendous pleasure as May to be associated with this event. I am not sure how many of you recall, about 15-20 years back in Delhi, we used to have this IT Comdex event. And those were the days when we started getting IT popular in India. As you look back at 25 years of IT in India, we have gone through a long journey. It took about 20 years to touch a sale of 3 million PCs, and the last 5 years we just doubled it. I think it went from 3 to 8 million. But the most interesting thing of the last 25 years has been really the fact that it's been three major situations that we faced. One is technology obsoleting technology. Second is productivity clearly driving growth, and growth especially in India. And the third factor has been local solutions and services really making a significant impact. So as you look at the past and as you start looking forward, I hope events like this start propagating what's really one of the most important things of getting high penetration. It's productivity for, normal consumers, it's productivity for companies, and as we look at driving growth. One of the very famous quotes that Gary Hamel made in the boom times of 2001 was, the competition for tomorrow is not between companies, it's between business models. And what's changing business models dramatically? I mean, you look at the way companies are transforming, and you kind of see the change significantly in the last few years has been primarily driven by technology and technology alone. So as you look forward, I think we have a significant, India still has a very low penetration of IT. The market today is about $70 billion in India, of which 60%, as Leonie rightly mentioned, is export driven and 40% is local. But as you look forward, this ratio is bound to change. Projections are IT industry in India to be about $200 billion by 2015, and that's pretty large. And growth rate which far exceeds the global growth rates of 5.5%. We're talking of growth rates between 15 to 20% in the next 5 years, taking the market up. And this clearly one looks to see impact in three areas, very akin to what we saw in the telecom sector. I'm sure you recall the telecom business, right? 1996, 16 rupees a minute, total sales in a year, million customers, moved to 5 million a year, and today it's 10 million a month. We have about 500 million subscribers, very close to 500 million subscribers. A penetration rate which is over 40. And if you look at IT, the penetration rate is pretty low. We're still talking of an installed base of about 36 million PCs for a population of a billion. So if you even look at a normal, expected rate of increase on penetration, this market's going to see a lot of change, and that has to come from solutions. I'm pretty happy Interop put this focus on innovation, because I think innovation is what will drive. Innovation is what will drive more and more consumers adapt to technology, get more penetration in the consumer market. I think government has a big role to spend and increase the IT penetration, both with broadband and with the power that's required. And finally, for companies, it's all about growth. How can we remain profitable? How can we remain growing? And how can we succeed? I wish Interop a tremendous success, and we really hope that these programs continue every year, and we look forward for Interop and Mate to work together to drive IT growth in India. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Nair, for pointing out that innovation is the key to IT. May I now request Mr. Vijay Pradhan, Executive Director, SNIA India, to come on stage and share his views, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great privilege for me to welcome all of you to Interop 2009 on behalf of the Storage Networking Industry Association, SNIA India for short. I believe that a conference like this really adds tremendous value because it helps you to understand what the key technologies are. It helps you network with your peers, understand what has worked for them and what has not worked for them, to meet with leading vendors who help you meet your needs. If I take just 2 or 3 trends currently in IT, whether it's cloud computing or whether it's green IT, I believe that these trends have a tremendous impact on your storage information infrastructure. Whether you plan to add storage, the fact is that it will change, it will undergo a tremendous change. Question is that do you want to use the new trends in storage, be it solid state storage, and will this help you lower your power consumption of your storage infrastructure and your computing infrastructure? Will cloud computing lower your storage costs, or will it merely change the shape and character of storage? The fact remains that whether you adopt cloud computing, and should you really adopt it or not, what can you do to help preserve and protect your company's information infrastructure? These are questions that are not easy to answer, and that is where I believe SNIA in India attempts to help. As members of SNIA, you will have access to articles from storage practitioners across the world who share their learning and their experience with you. These articles are articles which talk about education